In my mid-20s, I was getting to know this woman. Very exciting in your 20s. You're very hopeful, eh? And you're like, woohoo! I've met my wife! So in that melee, I called my mother just to run things by her. And then she was a good listener. She listened and listened. I was going on about this woman and yada yada yada, and how we were meeting and ice cream and yada yada yada. Do you have those conversations with your mom? I had one of the coolest moms. And she said to me, she asked me in Luo, Ihere, after I'd gone on with a whole lot of, now when I think back, a lot of Malaki. She just said, Ihere, Eric, Ihere. Ihere means, do you love her? And I said, all right, mommy, she comes from a right family. She's going to school well. She has a good head above her shoulders. She's smart. She said, Eric, you didn't answer me. Ihere. I was just like, mommy, okay, I like her. But to be honest, mommy, I've been thinking about maybe if we ever have kids, I feel like our kids are going to be this because she has such a generous forehead. And my mom was just like, then you don't love her. Maybe you just like her as a friend, you don't love her. And I was just like, why are you saying that with such certainty? And she said to me, because if she were the one, you wouldn't be hung up on her physical imperfections. And by the way, you have many as well. You might not notice, but somebody else would notice that your nose is off, or your teeth is off, or your feet, or you walk funny. So kudos to all single mothers out there who have to step up and wear the big pants of transitioning from, rather their kids from being infants into preteens and then later adults, and then adults who are dating, who have to run off ideas from their mothers. If you're a single mother, I salute you. My mom was impeccable. All right. And I was foolish. I really was. I was foolish. And that's why I was saying things like a forehead. So I maybe have like a big door that is just looking at South Dakota. I want us to have a quick chat about how to know whether or not he or she is the one. Is there a way you can tell? How do you do? My name is Eric and this is Eric Stories. Please make it participatory. Share with me your mind in the comment section about your thoughts on how you would know somebody's the one, or if you're hit already, how you knew for a fact that they were the one. All right? I'll start with where my mother started when she was giving me a lecture. If you are hung up about physical imperfections, it's pointing to them not being the one. You know why? We all have physical imperfections, number one. And number two, if she is the one or if he is the one, everything about them is beautiful. Whether they walk like a duck, they're beautiful, pretty or plain. They have warts on their face, or they are whatever else somebody else might think of them as. It wouldn't matter. They're beautiful, I think. I think so. I really think so. So if you're hung up on somebody's physical appearance, chances are, especially in the beginning, they aren't quite the one. What do you think? What do you think? Was my mom right? I know she was. When they're not a bother, a friend of mine was telling me an interesting story. He was ending a relationship with this woman, and the tail end of that relationship was trying to teach her how to drive. And so he started another relationship after that one ended. And he was telling me the world of difference with ways in which he was patient with a new woman. They finally got married. And he was telling me when he was training this other woman, or rather teaching this other former woman to drive, he was always really upset. Like this woman would be like, why are you stepping on the gas and you're supposed to be stepping on the brakes? What's wrong with you? You can't see. And so he was telling me, Eric, oh my goodness me, I mustn't have liked that other woman. This new woman, who now they've been married to maybe 10 years, I think one time she rammed into a gate and my friend was like, okay, babe, you didn't see the gate. Like, it was just right in front of you. Wow, babe, Aki, you. Anyway, it's okay. We'll fix the gate. Just come this side, I reverse. So, if they are not a bother, not only in their mannerisms, you always want to connect with them frequently. You want to communicate with them again frequently. And you want to meet up often. That would be a sign that they are the one. They don't irritate you. Have you ever dated somebody who irritates you? You're just like, oh my God. I dated somebody who used to tell me, Ati, what did she used to say? It's just your turn. It's just your turn now, Eric. It will be somebody else's turn. Oh my goodness me. Yo, chicks are bold, eh? She was telling me that boldly by then. She wasn't drunk, she was sober. Mid-morning. It's just your turn. Duh. Imagine it's your turn and it will be somebody else's. It was very clear that I was not her one. Oh my goodness me. All right? When you can't bring yourself still and are not feeling bothered by them, when you can't bring yourself to cheat, a friend of mine told me, and also a rather very interesting story. He was a libertine, he used to, perambulate. And he said how he knew the wife was the one. The urge to cheat just ceased. Can you imagine? He used to be, when he's in relationships, he's chatting other people, asking for numbers in bars. He said when he met his girlfriend, who later became his wife, he didn't bother to ask for numbers, didn't bother to text people on the side. So that is another sign. What do you think? All right? When you begin to factor into your decision-making processes, I think I've experienced this personally. One time I was looking for a house in the yesteryears, many years back, again in my 20s. And this was in, maybe again, late 20s. And I was getting to know this woman. So I remember calling her and saying, this house, I was going to pay for the house. So I was just like, this house, the wardrobe looks a bit off. And she was telling me, no, don't settle for a house that you feel off about in terms of wardrobes and that, yeah. So I think when you start factoring them into your decision-making processes, chances are you like them. You like them like that. All right? What do you think? How did you know you met your one? Did you have a sign? Another sign can include when you completely lose interest in seeing or talking to anyone else. Completely. Like my friend who got married, right? When you find a woman you feel real potential with, it's unlikely you'll feel the need or the point to talk to anybody else, including your exes, I think. You know the way you're in relationships and you still text your exes? I don't know what that is about. And you're texting them romantically, not that you're texting them to check up on them, but then you talk to your exes. If you, you still chat and you're just like, hey, maybe I could just smash one more time. How are you? Do you still drop it like it's hot, Stephanie? Then chances are the person you're with is not the one. And really, think about it. If you still want Stephanie to drop it like it's hot, what are you doing with Abednego? Abedi? Huh? So yeah, that's a sign. You're not interested in talking to people in your former life or even people in your current life. This one I think is very important. When you view sex differently, right? Being unbothered by sex and instead paying heed to building depth, all right? Respect, all right? Healthy communication and communicating styles. You're not stonewalling, you're not rude, you're not blocking them when you're arguing, all right? Building things like happiness together, trust, are great indicators that they're the one, Not just sex. One time, a friend of mine was telling me something interesting. So, the way, again, when people are in their 20s like I was, you are silly, you want to chat with your boys and tell them, oh my goodness, so me and Nduta now are hitting it. Oh my goodness, Nduta is fam, you guys. Oh, I say you guys, Nduta is fam, that chick. Like you bang her like this and she just, she bounced like that. Oh! So he was telling me that... Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Anyway, so he was telling me that when he started getting serious with his Nduta, not her real name, of course, he said he wouldn't talk about her like that, When the boys would be like, hey, how's it going, but have you choppered? He'd be like, it's all right. So if I'm to put word on it, I would say when you sense some level of respect in the way you talk about your significant other, if you feel drawn to them respectfully and you would not say malign them, or not that I condone that behavior for people who you are not with or you are not the one with, but you get the drift, right? So if you go high above and you stop that nonsense of discussing your sex life, which is very stupid, by the way, that is another sign they would be the one. All right? What do you think? Is this making sense? All right? When our happiness, as we wind up, when our happiness becomes as important as your own, and you become willing to compromise in areas of your life for the benefit of your relationship. I think that's important. And I was thinking about this before coming on. But the caveat though is you have to remember that compromise is not the same as sacrifice, all right? Sacrifice, especially at the expense of your own happiness, especially in this day and age, that has become so rife, all right? People are dating and then they have to go to let off so many things. I mean, it's your car, you bought it, but you're like, okay, to look bad because he doesn't have work, so I have to give him the car so he picks me. He's broke, you have to slide money under the table. Atiaki to look bad when I pay and people are looking at him. But this has been going on now for 15 months. Maybe the wise thing for him would be, let's not go out because I look bad. When I can pay, then we'll go out. But now if you want to go out, you go out, have fun with your friends. Me, I'll go look for a job. Sawa. So remember, compromise is not the same as sacrifice. Don't sacrifice. Don't sacrifice things that are important to you for the relationship. That is not healthy. I wouldn't do that. What do you think? All right? When you start to push yourself to become a better person, that is another sign. It's subtle, but it could be a sign. You have renewed motivation about the things that are important to you, all right? And a sense of, a deeper meaning. That could be a sign. All of a sudden, you're not, drinking until 4 a.m. Now there's a sense of, oh my goodness. Why? Because you want to give her the gift of the best of you. So you drop these foolish things and you take up serious things. What do you think? I know I've done that. When relationships are getting serious in the past. I'll be like, you know what, I have to put my ducks in a row now. I cannot be fooling around and doing these foolish, youthful, stupid things. And then finally, and perhaps the most cliche point of all, I think, you just know in your knower. You know. Sometimes you have a hard time explaining it to your peers, your family, your friends, or even other people. But you feel it. You feel it deep within that, you know what, he or she is the one. What other thing would you say would point to somebody being the one for you? Good evening.